Hello, I'm Cynthia Harvey. I am the guest associate repetiteur for English National Ballet. I'm going to speak today about mime. Dance mime has been around since the 16th century, and ballet has acquired mime to help make the stories clearer. We use ballet mime in story ballets from the classics like Swan Lake, and today we'll show you excerpts from Swan Lake, from Giselle, and from The Sleeping Beauty. The mime actually helps establish the characters a little bit better than just the dance does. And hopefully you'll be able to see when I explain what the mime sequences are, how it reflects those characters. So I just would like to show you some of the mime that is used in classical ballet. And this may not be in a particular order. So I is always the hand toward the heart. Love, two hands under the heart or toward the heart. Swear, sometimes it's done with a fist at the heart. Sometimes it's just swearing. It looks like ordering 2 beers, please, at the pub. And beautiful is one around the face. One of the most important ones is dance. We say we'd like to dance, and that's dancing. One evil man or person. This is no. Sometimes it's small and a big gesture, means no. Wait. Some of these things are very clear and obvious. We have die, and sometimes it could be I'm going to kill with one hand in classical ballets. Those are the main ones that you need to know. So Carabosse is the evil fairy, and she's very upset that she hasn't been invited to the christening. So these gestures are to the queen and to the king. And she says, you remember what I had said. And her speech, when she speaks, we're coming from the mouth, but it's a little more exaggerated than you'll see the Lilac Fairy do later, right? So it's a bit uglier. Then she points to the baby, who usually in most productions is a baby. Aurora is in the corner over there. She will grow. She shows the growth to be graceful. Going down the arm is like a graceful movement. Then she points again over there. The baby will grow, yes, and she'll be beautiful. The hand around the face is showing beautiful. And then she says, but there's more. And she kicks her minions out of the way, the monsters, the little monsters. And she says again, the baby will grow. Yes, she'll be graceful, she'll be beautiful. But wait, there's more. She will prick her finger and die. And then she laughs. This is universal, the arms crossing for dying, for the death. And then she laughs, ha 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 ha, because she's nasty, she's mean. And now we'll do it with the music. So the Lilac Fairy comes on. She's in her classical tutu, so that's why she has attractive legs and feet. She's not just standing the whole time. So she comes on, and then she bows. This is a bow to Carabosse, very generous and respectful. She bows, and then she says, I, the baby over there, I love. You want to kill the baby. Why? And then she says, stop, to Carabosse. You listen to what I have to say this time. And when she says, I speak, it's much more graceful than when Carabosse did it. Carabosse was much more ugly. So graceful to what I have to say. The baby over there, she will prick her finger, boom, but die not. She won't die. Over there, she will prick her finger, and instead, she'll fall into a nice sleep. And ideally, you should close your eyes, but I get dizzy. I always fall over when I do that. And then she says, from over there, far away, will come one handsome prince who will save her. And then she says to Carabosse, stop, don't come any further. Carabosse backs away at that point because good is over evil all the time. And then the whole company banishes Carabosse from the realm. And then she goes and puts everybody to sleep later on, and they live happily ever after. Now we'll do it to the music. Dancers today are first soloists Ivana Bueno and Lorenzo Trosello, who will be helping me demonstrate the mime of both Swan Lake and Giselle. And our accompanist today is Julia Richter. And you stop. And he says, you're here. Who are you? And she says, I am the queen of the swans. And he says, you're the queen. I bow to you. And look what I'm going to tell you. Over there is a lake made with my mother's tears. But there's more. Over there is one evil man who turned me into a swan. But if one person swears eternal love, I will be a swan no more. And now we'll try it with the music. court people have been called to the village. And when Bathilde, who is the woman that Albrecht is meant to marry, she sees him and she says, "You're dressed so strangely." Because he's dressed like a peasant. Why? And he says, "I have dressed like this. Oh, I don't know, I just forgot." And then he takes her forward. And he's about to kiss her hand, and he tries, and then Giselle sees this, and she stops them and says, "Excuse me, he and I love him, and I'm going to marry him." And Bathilde says, "No, he is marrying me." And Giselle doesn't believe it. And so she tries to get his attention, and he doesn't look at her because he's guilty. And she takes her necklace that the Bathilde gave her and tosses it down and falls to the floor in a heap. And now we'll do it with the music. Thank you all for joining us today. I hope you've learned something. Follow us at English National Ballet for more resources if you're interested in learning more about the ballets and the mime. Thank you.